So welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard Murray and this is a review of the 361 Flame Carbon Marathon Racing Shoe.
Whoa, new and fresh. I've never had shoes which smelled this fresh before.
If you can go ahead and hit that like button while you're here, that'll be super cool, help the algorithm all that much and get this channel off the ground, as well as subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification for further videos coming up shortly. So just as a disclaimer, I just want to say that 361 sent me these shoes to test out. By no means are telling me what to say in this video. All this information that I'm giving out to you guys is from myself and has not been provided to me. Disclaimer out the way, let's head straight on to the review of this amazing shoe. So as the market has gone carbon fiber mental, 361 has come out with their version of the Vaporfly killing shoe, and I'll start off with the first thing on the shoe. If you take a look at the shoe, the first thing you will think is Vaporfly. It is not a Vaporfly. This is a 361 carbon plated racing shoe. And it is great. And the first thing I head on to start off with this shoe is the colorway is really striking. I do really like the 3 on the shoe. 361 is 1 degree beyond. That's their slogan. And this shoe really puts them, in the standings for racing shoes. I would say all the manufacturers out there have to come out with a carbon-plated racing shoes nowadays. And now you have a pick of probably in the region of 15 to 20 shoes to pick from. And why would you pick the 361 shoe over something like a Saucony, a Hoka, a Nike, Adidas, even New Balance? All these shoes are great carbon fiber racing shoes, but they all have a different feeling and a different responsiveness when it comes to running on the road. They have different price points. They kind of hit different markets and different people to a little bit of a degree. And this shoe coming at $160 is $60. Probably one of the cheapest carbon fiber marathon super shoes that money can buy. So definitely on the price point of things, they've definitely nailed it. So I'm going to start off with a shoe. As we head off for the reviews, let's go on to the upper of the shoe. And if you look at the shoe, it resembles a lot to the Pegasus Turbo 2 as well as the Vaporfly. It's definitely very similar into the mesh in the top here. It does scrumple up very similar to the Vaporfly. It breathes pretty well, the upper. I can't say there's too many things that I would say are not great with the shoe. The heel counter, it's got a great heel counter in the back of the shoe. No heel slippage going on whatsoever while I'm running in it. So far, I've done a couple of runs in the shoe. I did some slow pace running. I did some running at about 330 per kilometer. And I did one run of about 8 miles or something like that, or about 12, 13 kilometers continuously in the shoe. And definitely at different speeds, the shoe felt very different. With the upper, I got carried away there a little bit, sorry. The upper as well, the shoelaces on these ones are extremely long. If you have a look here, it almost completely goes out the picture if I do that. So the shoelaces, extremely long. One way to kind of fix this. Obviously, with this shoe, you've got to be very careful. You want to tighten it from the bottom all the way up. I did have a little bit of loose feeling here in my forefoot. It's got a very generous toe box, so a very wide toe box. Didn't feel very, very narrow. Toe box was great. The tongue, one thing I did notice is the tongue is very thin. So it's got extremely thin tongue, not much padding in there. So I felt the shoelaces kind of on the upper part of my foot here where my tendon runs up. I did have to stop once or twice just to loosen it a bit so I didn't have any pressure on my tendon coming up my shin. But apart from that, you know, the upper on this shoe is great. It really, really is great. I'm probably going to give the upper on the shoe kind of about an 8.5 out of 10. It is really, really good. Once I managed to get locked down with the laces, the fit on the top was perfect. I had no issues whatsoever. So that's the upper out the way. Let's head on to the outsole of the shoe. As you can see, the shoe is a little bit dirty. I ran through some cow manure, some mud, some all different types of dirty stuff in here. You can see here's the quick bone carbon plate of the shoe. You're probably wondering if rocks get stuck in there. Rocks do get stuck in there. We've got a lot of rocks outside. I picked up a whole bunch of them. I had to chuck them on out. So a couple of rocks get stuck up in there. No big deal. The shoe is designed at racing, so you're not supposed to be running off-road with the shoe. Although I did run off-road in the shoe. Don't tell 361. I did actually a little bit of trail, and actually this thing on the trail was actually probably one of the best shoes, carbon fiber shoes that I've tested on a trail. So this shoe is really, really good. Even in the trails, I would say it's not that bad. You can probably hit some trails with it. Towards the forefoot of the shoe, there's quite a lot of rubber. Really, really is a lot of rubber. I think the mileage on the shoe will be pretty good. It's got a little bit of exposed rubber here. Kind of the Brooks Hyperion 2. A little bit similar feeling to that shoe as this one. The foam in the shoe reminds me of the Endorphin Pro. I have not run an Endorphin Pro before. But it kind of looks like that Boost foam from Adidas, kind of similar. I think Puma also has kind of similar foam to that, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the outsole in the shoe is really, really good. It's very stable. It's got probably one of the widest heels that I've seen on a carbon super shoe before as well. So pretty stable platform to run on. I think the outsole on the shoe is actually pretty good. It was on the firm side, so if you think about a lot of the shoes nowadays, the stack height is getting higher and higher, which means you have to have more support in the heel of the shoe. This shoe is pretty wide. It's got quite a wide girth, especially on the forefoot, and the heel is wider than most. It's kind of narrow on the kind of in the midfoot of the shoe, which I kind of got a little bit of irritation on my plantar fascia on my left side, kind of as well as in my metatarsals on my foot. It is very, very firm on the front end of the shoe. It's quite very, very firm. So your foot doesn't get much movement in with your metatarsals. So I definitely felt that was a little bit too firm for my liking. I think the shoe is definitely aimed at somebody who's kind of a mid to forefoot striker and less of a heel striker, this shoe. So, I mean, I heel strike a fair bit. I definitely felt when I was running at slow speeds, the shoe, you know, it kind of felt like it was breaking me. It was kind of breaking a little bit, I think, because I kind of heel strike. And the plate in this shoe kind of runs, you can see kind of where it's glued, it kind of runs in here, and it actually kind of swoops up. So this shoe has got quite a rocker effect. When you walk through, you'll definitely notice it puts you up onto the toes quite a lot. Definitely think that gave my calves quite a workout, but when I got up to speed, it definitely felt fast. It definitely felt fast. I mean, I love to do the bend test. Let's check out the bend test of this one. It's really good. It's not too firm. I'm not putting too much pressure into it, which is good. You want a shoe, let's also do the flex test. So you see how much stability this shoe has. It's squirmy. It's, you know, it's got a lot of movement. So there's not too much support here in the midfoot, which kind of makes your foot collapse in a little bit, I felt, and definitely feel my arch after doing some reps with the shoe. But I definitely felt a great toe off feeling sensation with the shoe, and I'm definitely going to rate it very, very highly. Let me just show you how dense the foam is on the shoe. It's pretty soft. The heel is very, very soft. The forefoot, on the other hand, on the shoe is really firm. So I definitely think it would be great further down the line if they put a little bit more foam just up in the forefoot, just to kind of give you a bit more support under your metatarsals. Definitely help, and probably lower the plate a little bit in the shoe. But I definitely think the shoe is aimed at somebody who's looking for a certainly priced shoe that will be a good entry level kind of to get into the carbon fiber marathon shoes. this shoe at $160. I mean, $160 is amazing. It really, really is good for this shoe. What you're getting is a lot for $160. And I think if you're kind of a mid to 4 foot striker, this shoe would be for you. Somebody who wants a shoe with a bit more stability, this shoe would be for you. I would say this would be a great tempo shoe even. I would say that kind of 5 and 10K shoe, I don't think this would be in the range for the 5 and the 10K shoe. I would put it more at half marathon, marathon, definitely. I think I'm going to give it about an 8.8 out of 10 so far, which is quite high. It's quite high up on the scale. I'll definitely put it up with the likes of the Adidas Adios, Adizero Pro, as well as the Vaporfly. Even say towards the Alpha Fly to a certain degree. Definitely think it is a great shoe. I've done a couple runs in it. I'll do a few more runs in it when I get to kind of do a bit more faster speed, and I'll be able to give you some feedback kind of just on my community part of my channel, some basics on how I felt the shoe was at speed. The shoe, I'll go through the weight as well. So sorry for the lighting in here, it's not that great, but the shoe's coming in on my scale at about 240 odd grams, which for my size in UK9 is definitely a little bit on the heavier side for the carbon plate racing shoes. The weight of the shoe, it is on the heavier side. I mean, it's not, you know, massively heavy. You don't notice it. Felt light while I was running quick in it and picking up some speed. I think it is, definitely a top shoe, definitely one that people are going to go to. It becomes available, I think, in March 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty shortly it's under. There are only about 500 I heard of these available, and I managed to get one, which is very, very cool. So big shout out to 361. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. As well as drop your comments down how you think this shoe, if you would purchase this shoe. If you're in the future, anyone who's running the shoe, give me some insight. Tell me how you felt the shoe was compared to some of the other super shoes out there. I'd love to know your feedback. That'll be super cool. I hope you're looking forward to the next video I'll be putting out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Cheers, everyone. Have a great day.
What do you think they're going to be like?
Bouncy.
Yeah?
That's what I hear from you. I've no idea. Soft, I guess. That's what you said. I don't know. We'll see.
Soft, responsive, bouncy.
Fast.
Fast when you're running fast. Also fast when you're running slow, but we'll have a look-see.
Nice. Then I can easily...
You can... No, you're not going to... You won't wear them while we're training. It's unfair then.